jump on the bandwagon. I mean, this guy, Michkov, my God. 3 overtime winners over the last couple of weeks. Cold-blooded, man. And he loves the 3-on-3. He loves that power play, 4-on-3. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode 5 of the Men in Orange and Black. And with me is a guy who is actually wearing black for today's episode, Mr. Steve Murray. I am Matt Craig. We are happy to have you guys with us. Steve, what's going on, man? How you been?
I'm pretty sure I always wear black.
I would say so. I would think.
We're recording Sunday night after a large Eagles victory.
Yes.
Over the number 1 offense in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm digging it for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm digging it as well.
I'm glad I cut Justin Tucker from my fantasy team just in time.
Oh, there you go.
Because he has become the Chuck Knobloch of the NFL.
Can't seem to hit those field goals. But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about your Philadelphia Flyers.
My Philadelphia Flyers?
Your Philadelphia Flyers and my Philadelphia Flyers and your Philadelphia Flyers. Because we have some really, really good news. We have a winning hockey team. We're not at Hockey 500. We are a winning hockey team as of the end of November. So
I think we're at technical 500, actually.
Really?
I think. I can't. The numbers are really small on my screen.
Yeah.
No, we're not at technical 500.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, we are 2 games over 500, according to the win-loss and overtime loss. Well, we're going to go ahead and dig into that in the first period, and then we'll also go through the recap of the last 2 weeks of the regular season when we were last with you in episode 4. But in episode 5, we're going to go through the remainder of the homestand that took place, and then basically go from there into the second period. We'll do our studs and duds, followed by the old concernometer makes its return, Steve. The good old comes back.
I'm concerned.
Yeah, we got some concerns here and there. Not without any fault. No team is perfect, of course, but we'll dive through that. And then, as always, we'll look ahead to the next 2 weeks. And guess what? We have a break. We finally have a little bit of a break. Well, of course, when this episode comes out, the Flyers will be coming off that break playing Florida, but we'll look ahead.
Oh, so you mean by the time this episode comes out, half the games we just discussed haven't already occurred?
Yeah, exactly. That's
all
right. Funny how the cookie crumbles that way, but yeah. So, Steve, you have this wonderful standings board here of the wild card standings
to this now.
Yeah, at the end of November, Steve, we are the second wild card team as of the end of November 2024. What are your thoughts here on this? This is pretty darn good.
What did we start? 1-5-1?
We did.
Something stupid like that?
Yeah.
This is just a testament to how the team stuck together, gutted out the initial slowness to the start of the season, and has come along, and as we'll get into game by game, they've really done well for themselves.
Yeah.
Rocketed. Now, this is the end of November, so, none of that if the playoffs started today. And as you could see by the slide, one bad week and you're down where the Red Wings are.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're not solidly in a playoff position, but it's hard to do with 20-some games into the season.
Yeah.
To be solidly in a playoff spot. But we are nonetheless, as of the end of November 30th, the games on November 30th, the Flyers were your second wild card team, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, phenomenal. 1-5-1 to start the season. They went 11-5-2 since the 1-5-1 start. That is phenomenal.
They are, if I remember the graphic from the game against St. Louis last night correctly, I think they are among, if not the top team in getting points
Yeah.
since November 7th or something.
It's
along that
amazing.
line.
Yeah. I mean, it was phenomenal to see the turnaround. And, it was funny because, we were going through a little bit of like, oh my gosh, is Torts losing his mind, benching Michkov, in the beginning part of
No,
November.
not we. We weren't.
We weren't.
We weren't.
We were practicing, saneness. We were breathing back and forth, and we were kind of going, you know what? I think he has a plan of what's going on here. And boy, as that rookie responded, we'll get into that, of course, in the second period with the studs and duds. But yeah, I mean, and it's a testament to this team has bought in to what John Tortorella continues to sell, and that is play great defense, block shots, transition, get the puck into the offensive zone, and capitalize on opportunities. One of the games, of course, we'll review is the St. Louis Blues game. Tyson Forrester had a tremendous response after St. Louis tied that game.
Yep.
You
all about
you
going
don't
to the
do
net.
that if you're not buying into what's going on with Tortorella. So that was a massive, massive goal last night. But again, like I said, we'll get into that. But before we do, let's go ahead and review what has happened over the last, unless you have anything more further to say about the standings board here, Steve.
I got screw the Penguins. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, they're floundering, man. I love it.
Well, they've won 3 in a row. So.
Yeah.
But still,
they're scuffling, which I love. They're giving up a ton of goals this year, so that's what I love. Yeah,
it's amusing. Yes, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well then let's go ahead and get started with the game against Colorado. Second game of the homestand, coming off that Buffalo win, and it wasn't looking all that good. Obviously, you had Cale Makar scoring twice in the second period,
almost 3 times, but for goalie interference.
Yeah. Of course, he's like dangling the puck all over the place. The Flyers, though, made a run of it after falling behind 3-0. They get 2 goals, one by Tippett, and then Forrester, of course, with the fourth of his year, I should say, with about 6.5 minutes left in the game. So you're thinking, oh, they got maybe one final push to tie it. Just never came. And so they ended up losing 3-2. Steve, your thoughts on that game in particular?
Yeah, that game, they were slow through the first 2 periods, and Colorado's forecheck was giving them a tough time.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see a pattern within this slate of games. Teams with ferocious forechecks, Carolina,
Yeah.
really seem to hem us in.
Yeah.
And prevent shots from being taken. Although, if I'm remembering correctly, because it's been 2 weeks, that Colorado game, there may have been some more of that overpassing stuff, which gets on my nerves.
Nerves? Oh, you mean the Adam Oates disease doesn't
the
you
Adam
don't like
Oates
that?
disease.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I mean, I am an overpasser myself, but team wide, it's not a good thing.
Especially with you. You got such a great wrist shot. You should shoot the puck more. How many
But I like
times do I
passing.
have to tell you to shoot the puck more?
I like passing when people aren't expecting it. So they hung tough with, by all accounts, what looks to be a tough Western Conference contender.
Yeah.
Elite Colorado's got a lot of speed.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of speed. Although I could see where a heavy team like Vegas or Florida would just beat the shit out of them for 7 games.
Sure.
And probably get away with it. But they were a fast team. They did force a comeback, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Would have liked to see them get a little bit more involved earlier in the game, but that is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So then we have the Carolina game, as you rightly said, tight through the first 2 periods.
Yeah, it was kind of the reverse of the Colorado game.
Yeah, for sure.
We actually were hanging with Carolina for 2 periods.
Yeah. Until the third period
Until the Hurricanes like, all right, I'm ending this.
We've had enough of this. Yeah. And they pretty much like dominated the game, dominated the total shots as well. 37-19 in shots.
Yeah, but through 2 periods, I think it was pretty even.
Yeah, it was 20-15. Yeah. 20-15.
They pulled away.
Oh,
they
did.
Period, where they just pounded us.
Yeah, 4-1 the final there. So that, you're coming off Buffalo, but you have one of the 2 top teams in all of the National Hockey League, and they are clearly the next level. Torts had a right call at the end of it saying, that's where we want to be. We're not there
Mhm.
yet. We want to be that. We're not there. We're going to get there, though.
But, I mean, look, we last episode, we said
Mhm.
these are really 2 horrific games to be coming up on the schedule,
Oh, yeah.
and to stay close with Colorado and to hang in there for 2 periods with Carolina, I thought were good signs.
Can't go wrong with that. Yeah,
No.
exactly. Then you've got Chicago, and this was a really, really annoying game to watch because we were clearly outchancing Chicago all
Oh, yes.
over the ice, and yet they kept scoring goals by accident. They scored in the first, they scored in the second. I'm thinking, there's just no way. It's like we're snake bit. We can't get out of our own
Yeah.
way. We're out shooting them. But then we get the third period come back, and it was rapid fire. Couturier, and then I believe it was, who was it that scored the second? Off the
I
top
was
of my head.
driving at the time, so I can't recall.
Okay. So you're going to make me pull it up here on live here. It was Noah Cates getting his
Oh,
first of
that's
the
right,
year
that's right.
with
Yes.
just over a little over 10 minutes elapsed in the period. So you're thinking, okay, then you got a power play at the end of the game. And what was the lone bright spot on the power play in a beautiful play by Konechny to Michkov, and he buries the game winner in overtime, 3-2 final. Tremendous comeback against the Blackhawks, although I really wish we could have had the lead and put this team away early.
Oh, we should have run them out of the building the way we were dominating them.
Yeah.
It was the score and getting to overtime was just not indicative of what the play was.
Yeah.
The ice was pretty much tilted towards Chicago's end the entire
Yeah.
game,
So,
which is a team like Chicago, which is really struggling. That's a good sign that we
yeah.
can kind of dominate them. Is the lack of finish by this team is what came back to bite you,
Yeah, exactly.
or not. I mean, you
Mhm.
end up winning the game, but this easily could have been a 6-2 victory.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, easily. Easily could have been 6-2. So then, to close out the homestand, you then had the Vegas Golden Knights, our cap dodgers or whatnot, deferred revenue, all that kind of stuff, how they're skirting the current CBA of the NHL,
Yeah.
long-term injury reserve, Mark Stone, blah, blah, blah. We jump on them, though, very early. We get 3 goals quick. You got Frost. There was a Morgan Frost sighting, Steve. Morgan Frost scored a goal. I couldn't believe it. Then you had Couturier, 2-0. You're doing pretty well. And then Emil Andre gets his first of the year, 3-0. And I'm thinking, oh, we got this in the bag. And then Jack Eichel decides, you know what, I'm going to take the game over. Leads a comeback, gets 2 quick goals. We get Michkov scoring 4-2. But then you have 2 follow-up goals by Vegas to tie the game. And then stupid Jack Eichel. Winning the game in a shootout, 5-4. Entertaining game, but again, you had 2 2-goal leads in this game, and quite honestly, you didn't put them away. Would have been a huge 2 points, but you didn't. You get the shootout, loss there, but you get a point coming out of it. Thoughts there?
Well, you get a point against a top Western Conference team.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Mhm.
Not the way you got it. You blew a 3-0 lead and a 4-2
And a
lead.
4-2 lead, yeah.
So that's not ideal. That's a team that doesn't know how to hold a lead.
Yeah.
A lot you see Chicago, a lot of our wins are comeback wins.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you take a lead, you need to be able to hold it. I just wish we could have been able to do it. Vegas was just showing their experience at that point.
Yeah.
And I hate Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel's a douche.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And for him to win it was like, come on, give me a break.
Yeah, I know. I can't stand that guy. I've heard stories about him.
Yeah,
Being
exactly.
a douche in Buffalo. I don't like the way that whole thing played out. But
Yeah.
oh well, you got a point against Vegas, which was, again, we weren't expecting victory
No.
when we predicted last week. So to get a point out of it, even in the way it occurred,
2-2-1 in your homestand. Again, pretty good. Even Steven, not showing off, not falling behind. 5 points out of the homestand. That's pretty good out of 10 points, but not too bad.
Well, considering you had Carolina and Colorado coming in, Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not bad.
that's not bad. Then you go to Nashville. And so then you have the Nashville Predators 2-1 after one period of play. Nashville, of course, no goals in the second. And then Morgan Frost, with about 12 seconds left in the game, gets a massive tip-in goal off of what seemed like a broken play, but great play by Travis Sanheim to spot him for the tip. And Morgan Frost, thank God he put his stick down, pots in another goal, back-to-back games with goals for Morgan Frost. And then leading into overtime, Sean Couturier, and of course, like Nashville was tilting, if I remember right. Nashville was like dominating a little bit of the overtime possession.
Nashville dominated pretty much that whole game.
Yeah.
I went to bed after the second period, and I was not convinced the Flyers had a shot just because Nashville. This was another one. This was not as much of the forecheck,
Mm-hmm.
but their D men were really covering our wings up
Yeah.
on the wall. So every time the puck would come up the wall, a D man would be jumping it and keeping the pressure on and not letting us get out of the zone. That's where you would hope you'd have something a little bit more flexible as far as, move it to the center of the ice is to get out
Yeah.
instead of just up the wall.
And then, but Couturier, in a classic steal the 2 points, kind of up what we saw in Ottawa, comes in and gets the goal, proceeds to trip and fall over the goal line, which was great. What an amazing win, 3-2 in Nashville. And that momentum carried forward into the Black Friday game against the Rangers. And my God, they blitzed the Rangers. The Rangers have been struggling this year. You get 2 quick goals in the first period. Goals by Bobby Brink and Konechny. Kind of back to back within like a
On
minute and a half.
Shesterkin.
Yeah. Yeah, Ostersterkin. And Brink's goal was tremendous off a great block by Forrester, transition offense. And you get the great goal by Brink with a quick little boom, boom, forehand, backhand.
Well, you forgot Forster then pursued the puck up the wall.
Yeah.
Outraced Adam Fox, got to the puck on the wall, did a
Pirouette,
backhand
pass.
spin pass directly to Brink, who snuck behind the Ranger defender.
Fantastic.
Boy, they are a mess right now.
They are really
Rangers.
falling apart. Yeah. Then of course they hang tight with that third period. Great defense throughout the entire third period. Really frustrating the Rangers, and then of course they give it over to Sanheim, give it to Sanheim, gives it to Konechny for the empty netter. 3-1 final against the Rangers. Huge win. And then last night, you go into St. Louis, and again this one was kind of like you got a quick early period goal by Owen Tippett, a great feed from Michkov, who had been kind of quiet the last 2 games. Then all of a sudden he gets the assist in the first period. Nothing really much going on in the second. Good defense. The third period, though, you could just tell the Blues were coming.
Actually, yeah. Well, I'm going to disagree with you on the second period.
Oh, okay.
What
do you
the
got?
Second period was, as Coatsy would put it, a little loosey-goosey. There were odd man rushes galore.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
That period.
You're
And
right.
but for Jordan Binnington and Alexsi Kolosov standing on their heads, it remained was it 1-0?
It was 1-0 after
it was
2.
1-0. It remained a 1-0 game after 2.
Yeah.
But the second period was a complete breakdown by both teams defensively.
Yeah.
Just letting people get behind them.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird start, too, because if you think about it, the first period just was a slug. A lot of whistles early on.
Yeah, that's right.
And then second period, you're right. It was kind of going back and forth. Yeah, it was wide open like crazy.
Wide open.
Third period, though, was really crazy. You got the Blues tie it. But then about a minute later, you have Forrester with a great individual effort to get to the puck, all coming off the bench, driving to the net. You get Bobby Brink with, I believe it was a backhander that hit really the post. It wasn't a Binnington save. It hit the post.
No, but Binnington was there.
But the Binnington was definitely there, but sprawled out. And Forrester with an amazing quick little up and, lifts the puck up underneath the crossbar. Gives the Flyers the lead, I should say, 2-1. Under a minute, though, Blues tie it. But then Matvei Michkov off a great individual defensive play by Konechny. And by the way the Blues scored that second goal was on the power play. and I disagreed
6
with,
on 4.
yeah, it was 6-on-4. Oh my gosh. I disagreed with JJ and Bush on the call. They were like, really wasn't a, you can't really call that. It was, wasn't all that bad. It was a hooking call.
Oh, the hook on connecting,
And clearly he was not moving his feet. He was lazy. He was a little
That's true.
lazy. He got hooked him, no question. You got to go for the box for that, and they spotted it. I guess that's old school. You think back, it was like they don't call anything. They pocket the whistle. You got to call that in a situation. You got beat. But Konechny made up for it in the overtime with a great individual effort, defensive play, sweeps the puck away, steals it, and then just sends Michkov. And Michkov,
all in one motion.
all in one motion.
It was
Yeah, exactly. It's like, go ahead, Meach, you got it. And then Michkov goes in, pots in another overtime winner. I mean, this guy, 3 overtime game winners. Ottawa,
in 23
Chicago.
games played.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Crazy. Ottawa, Chicago, and St. Louis. The last 3 weeks, overtime game winners with Michkov. So looking at the standings again, we don't have to pull it back up again, but Flyers only have 5 regulation wins all season. Overtime, they have additional, like it's considered 9 regulation and overtime wins total. That means they have like 3 wins in the shootout. So they're getting points in the standings, as we are showing here on the slide, Steve. Pretty darn good, I would think, with all exception of maybe that power play needs to be worked on.
Yeah. You'll see we're even at home, getting a slight advantage on the road thanks to the St. Louis and Nashville victories. Goals scored versus goals allowed, we are still a 10 differential. So that number is hanging tight.
Like kind of like an albatross over us right now, yeah.
Well, yeah, but at least it's not expanding, so that's good.
Yeah,
I'd like to see it shrink, but you're lots of close games here.
It's not Pittsburgh.
No, I mean, you lose the Colorado game by 1, you lose the Vegas game by 1, but you win the Chicago by 1.
Yeah.
You're winning and losing by 1. They're all tight games.
Yep.
Power play, yeah, that continues to drop. We're down now to 16% even. That's about, what were we last year? 12?
12?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
So
needs to be
let's
worked
work
on. Just saying.
Yeah.
You got to get that
Yeah,
fixed.
no, you pointed out correctly. They had 1 power play goal that whole stretch of games since our previous episode.
Yeah.
That 1 power play goal was an overtime 4-on-3. So I don't even count that.
Yeah. It's not your traditional 5-on-4. Yeah.
No, 4-on-3 power play is a totally different animal from a 5-on-4 power play.
No doubt.
And their 5-on-4 power play right now looks completely disjointed.
Yeah, they're literally just passing around the perimeter and hoping to get people out of position.
If they even get set up.
Yeah, if they get set up and into the zone. Yeah.
Yeah, but the penalty kill, on the other hand.
Oh, top 3 in the league. Yeah.
Top 3, we're 84.93%. That took a hit last night because of the 6-on-4 goal with 15 seconds left. But
do you count that?
I wouldn't. But
yeah.
I'm not the NHL statistician.
That's true.
So yeah, penalty kill's great. Power play has got to get it moving.
Yeah.
But other than that, hey, this is better than what you could hope for.
No doubt. All right, second period here, the Men in Orange and Black, episode 5. Steve, we've got our studs and duds over the last 2 weeks. And I want you to lead this off because it's easy for me to kind of say, oh, Michkov. He's great. He's just fantastic. He's having a great rookie season, but we got to give some love to our defense. And our defense is playing great, including this guy.
Yeah, my stud is the guy I was going to give it to last week, but Ivan Fedotov gave me a better story. So this week it is going to Travis Sanheim.
Hell yeah.
He has really turned up his game since the start of the season. He is actually third. I'm just looking now. He's third on the team in scoring with 15 points.
Yeah.
Plus 2. And which game was it? It was the Vegas game. He had, I think, 3 different plays where he was lugging the puck up ice, and he did a power forward move cutting
Yeah.
to the middle to try and get a goal, including I think one of them might have been in overtime,
Yeah.
if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. That is something you do when you are a confident player, and Sanheim is a very confident player right now, and I love what they're getting out of
Oh,
him.
yeah.
I know people keep talking about Team Canada for the Four Nations tournament should be looking at him.
What do you think
I
in
kinda
that?
I kinda don't want him to make it
Yeah. Yeah.
because well, A, because I'd like to get he's logging a ton of
He
minutes,
is.
that's the other
Yeah.
thing. His average ice time is
Yeah.
insane, 25 minutes a game,
Easily.
and
Yeah.
he exceeded 30, I think, in one of the games,
Mhm.
and he's been up like 27, 28
Yeah.
minutes in some of the games. I'd I'd like to see him get a rest, but I also kinda like if he gets snubbed, I'd love to see his
Oh,
reaction, like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah? You're not gonna
I'll
pick
show
me?"
you.
I'd love to see him, like, for the end of the season
Heck
run,
yeah.
have a chip on his shoulder to really wanna drive it home.
Yeah. I remember his first couple of years in this league, and people wanted to trade him. And, it was like, oh, he's not doing all the, he stinks. And it's like, this is where, again, this is why we're doing this service. Why you have to really exercise patience with these players, because now, after a couple of years of understanding what's going on and how his talent has formed into his overall game as a defenseman, you see him like, you're right, Steve. He's making power forward moves as a defenseman because he's carrying the puck up with confidence, and he
Mhm.
knows he could book it back. Like, he knows that
Yep.
if he goes into that offensive zone, even all the way down to the goal line, he's got enough horse to get it back and cover his own defense. Like,
Oh, there's been multiple times where he's
yes,
gotten into the offensive zone, they're coming back the other way, I'm like, "Oh, crap," and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Sanheim is
yeah.
back. It's, like,
Yeah,
great.
he's hauling butt, and it's great to see. I mean, and that's what you want out of your young core. And then you get York coming back also off of injury. Those two together are just like, you do not separate those two. Those guys are just meshing so well. They know each other well. I have like total confidence in that D pair. It's like they're our top defensive pair for a reason. They're like the Desjardins and Terrien.
I don't know if I'd
That's
go there
high
yet.
praise. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that yet.
Yeah, we're getting there
Let's give it
though.
a little more
Yeah, we're
time.
getting there though, no doubt. Yeah, and of course, yeah. I mean, I can't go without sharing my stud. I mean, we got to jump on the bandwagon. I mean, this guy Michkov, my God, 3 overtime winners over the last couple of weeks.
Cold-blooded.
Cold blooded, man, and he loves the 3-on-3. He loves that power play. 4-on-3. Him and Konechny just have magic in overtime. It doesn't matter. It's like we would dread the overtime period. Dread it
Yes.
because we would have zero offense. And if we weren't in a defensive shell, we'd easily give up a goal, because it would be that bad. But now it's like any defensive turnover, now it's like we have the advantage with this kid, and he's just going in and just killing it in overtime. Absolutely killing it, which I
Mhm.
absolutely love. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I actually think his pass to tip it was even more
Yeah.
impressive than the goal last night.
Yeah,
Um,
I honestly thought he was going to shoot that puck.
so did I.
And it was like, but
And then I was like, I'm like, "Why did you wait?" Because the dude was catching you from
yeah,
behind, and then all of a sudden it's a pass, and Tippett's stick was literally on the post.
yeah,
Like, the edge of the blade was touching the post when that puck came
it was
across,
beautiful.
and Biddington was nowhere to be found. It was
Nowhere to be found.
fantastic.
No, not even close to saving it. So it was a great play, and he's doing very, very well. Even though I just found out Celebrini did get Rookie of the Month for November. Oh, we all know who the Calder Trophy's going to, so it's definitely 39 in orange and black.
Well, yeah, which one of the 2 got punched in the face?
Exactly. It'll happen in San Jose later on in December. In that regard. For the Duds, though, yeah, this has been a bit of a problem. I said it last in episode 4. The memory has jogged. This power play, Steve, I'm really, like you, like, we got to fix this. Like, I think they need to hold a council. Hopefully that's what they're going to do over the 4 days. Maybe there's news or something like that. They all get together and they have a kibosh or whatever around a bonfire or something to try and figure this out, because this is it's not working. We're not gaining the zone now, and that's a problem. That is a massive, massive problem, especially with the talent that we have, the young talent that we have. I don't know what's going on there, but it's not good.
I feel like there's not enough traffic in front on
Yeah,
the power play.
yeah,
Where is he? This
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Yeah. His power play advice should just be stand in front of the goalie, take his eyesight away, and then when the puck drops, just start pushing
I
people.
just wish we had those 6'4" guys that could kind of just stand in there and just like, you know what,
Right.
screen.
I think we've done it before.
Hmm.
Why not stick Ristolainen in front of the goalie just for shits and giggles?
Might as well. I mean, you got to do something. Got to try and figure
Yeah.
out something because it's clearly not working.
It's
Clearly.
it's too much one and done.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest
Yeah.
issue. You get a shot and then it's
Yeah.
out. There's no traffic in front to take the goalie's eyesight away for a goal or for a tip. And when a shot does get through, it goes to the corner and then the other team's
Yeah,
flipping it
just
out.
flip it out really quickly, too
Um,
quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're dud though, Steve. I mean, we got a little
My
concerned
dud.
here with a little bit of the leadership council going on.
Yeah, I can't say he's done he hasn't been like Morgan Frost level
No,
bad. But Scott Lawton's I expect more out of him.
I do too. I think they're
He
brain farts. Sometimes he just has a brain fart.
Yeah.
Like the Rangers game, the way they scored their goal, he broke his stick. And rather than the kind of playing defense on the point, kind of just staying back a little bit, trying to make yourself big, he leaves the defensive zone in the second period, leaves the defensive zone to grab
Yeah,
a
the
stick to
long
come back on a
change.
long change.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, come on. You know, it's like you got to have spatial awareness. Like, what are you doing over there? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's right now he's on a fourth line wing with Paling and Hathaway, which I think is a good place for him,
Mm-hmm.
just in any event.
Yeah.
But I expect more out of him. The penalty kill obviously is top 3,
Mm-hmm.
but you'd like to see because we were very good at generating chances
Mm-hmm.
shorthanded, but I haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of that recently.
Yeah.
Although I just realized they had only been shorthanded before last night's game, I think 5 times in the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So the penalty kill wasn't getting a whole lot of work anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which maybe, but he is also a -15,
That's really surprising. Yeah.
which I wouldn't say leads the team, is the worst on the team.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
3 goals, 6 assists, the offensive production, that's probably for normal, but -15 for Lawton, who's I think supposed to be known more for a defensive prowess. I think he's got to
He's gotta pick that up a
And
little
like
bit.
you said, it's brain farts. Like
Yeah.
he leaves his zone there. He leaves a guy to make a play. He puts the puck towards the middle
Yeah.
instead of doing the safe play.
Yeah. Turns the puck over. I remember I forget who it was in the homestand, but he got benched by Tortorella.
Yeah, that's what I'm
that's
talking
what you're
about.
talking about. Yeah.
Instead of making the safe
Yeah.
play, he forces it right. It was the game where Tortorella pregame was like,
Yeah. You cannot
right,
turn this puck over.
nothing to the middle of the ice.
Yeah.
And what does he
Dude.
do? Is for a shift right in the middle of the
Right?
ice turnover.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that.
What did we just talk about?
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. That's something like if it's drilled in, okay, this is something you don't do. And he goes and he does it. Now, there's got to be something else going on there. I don't know what. He needs to step up his game. I think to your point, he is a defensive forward. It seems to be that's his prowess. But for whatever reason, it's not working. Something's not clicking. He needs to kind of pick that up. I totally agree.
He goes through these spells though.
He does.
This is not the first time. I mean, last year he went on a great run post trade deadline.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, and he was playing kind of similarly.
Yeah.
So he goes through this. I'd like to see him pick it up. Maybe we start winning games by 2 goals instead of 1,
Yeah.
or going to overtime.
Yeah.
I'm a little sick of overtime. I'd like to get some regulation wins built
Yeah,
up there.
exactly. Kind of build that up in the resume. Yeah. All right. So after that, the Concernometer making its long-awaited return after episode, I believe it was 4. We debuted it.
Oh, because we only missed it one
We
episode.
only missed it one episode. No, I think it was episode 3. Anyway,
Episode 3, yeah.
so we have another 3 set here. Steve, your concern, again, scale 1 to 10, 10 being the highest concern you have, 1 being the lowest. Concern for the goalies, all three of them, Urson, Fedotov, Kolosov. How concerned are you of the goaltenders right now?
I think at the moment I am about a 2.
Yeah.
Kolosov and Fedotov both have really stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
Urson did not play at all since our last
Yeah.
episode. And both of these guys have done what a capable NHL backup should do, which is keep you in it.
Yep.
You know, God forbid you lose your number one goalie and you got to play backups. And every night it's like, oh my God, are we going to have a chance?
Yeah.
But these guys have come in. They give you a chance every night. I mean, yeah, they every once in a while they let one in that they probably shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have. They like to have back. But most goalies in NHL are going to have
Yeah.
that. The the way Fedotov was playing the first 3 games
Mm-hmm.
versus now is
Light years.
He outdueled Shesterkin
Yeah.
the
In
other
Tampa.
day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Not
And
Tampa,
the Rangers. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean now. So yeah.
And
So
Vasilevsky in Tampa.
he's outdueled Vasilevsky.
Mhm.
He outdueled Shesterkin. He can't
2
get
of the
much
top
better than
goaltenders
that.
in the league. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have become very capable NHL backups.
Mhm.
Once Airson comes back, I don't know how they're going to handle that.
Yeah.
But assuming Airson comes back, that's the other nice thing. The way they're playing, they don't have to rush Airson
Yeah.
back. They can take their time, make sure whatever injury he has is fully healed before they throw him back in the net. I think maybe they rushed him back a little too early the first
Yep.
time. But the fact that Fedotov and Kolosov are playing as well as they are now and are giving you a chance to stay afloat means you can take your time with Airson.
And I love the fact that there's no controversy between the two. They are flipping and flopping between the two because they want to see what they have in their backup goaltenders. And boy, have they stepped their game up. You're exactly right, Steve. They've stepped up the games against some high quality opponents these last 2 weeks.
Yep.
You know, Chicago notwithstanding, all that kind of stuff. We had games against Colorado, Carolina, Vegas, Nashville, the Rangers. Teams that are like vying for playoff spots or have vied for playoff spots in previous seasons. I can't say the same for Nashville right now, and the Rangers are struggling. But you got results from these two guys over the last 2 weeks. That's tremendous. That is tremendous depth and makes me feel the same way. We're rated about it too. You know, whereas beginning part of the season, both were struggling, both really didn't know what was going on. And particularly with Fedotov, you're right. He was spending his time kind of looking over the ice. Now he's more, you could see it, he's more compact. He's more, you know, understanding where he is positionally, where the goal is, and all that kind of stuff. He's much
When
better.
he has to make a desperation save, he does it and uses all 6'7" of them.
And Kolosov, I will give him a lot of credit for St. Louis. I mean, that was a tremendous save towards the end of the third period. He just wasn't quick enough to cover that puck really fast in the 6-on-4.
Well, he made 2 saves. He had to make 2 saves in rapid succession, and the third one's the one that got by him. You know, the defense has got to clear them out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they were scrambled, no question, but I give him a ton of credit for that effort there and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I love that. So, the second, let's talk Flyers special teams, Steve. Both power play and penalty kill, we are meshing together here. Concern level of the special teams. What do you think? 1 to 10.
The fact that you're meshing them together makes this difficult. Because on the one hand, the power play.
9, right? But you've got.
But on the other hand, the penalty kill.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm going to say I'm at a 4.5.
I'm going to round
you a decimal
up on that.
You son of a bitch. Yeah, the power play is concerning to me. They showed earlier in the season that they can do it. So I have some level of confidence that perhaps they can figure it out and get back to it. The penalty kill has been stellar.
Thank God.
Pretty much all season.
Yeah, thank God.
And to the point where they're not even taking penalties anymore. St. Louis game notwithstanding. So I'm The power play is worrisome, as we've already
Yeah.
covered in your dud.
I will give it
But the penalty kill is bringing that concern down.
I will give it a 4 for that very reason. I think the penalty kill, if that was not top 5, top 10, then the concern of the specialty teams would be much higher for me. But because you've got a top 3 penalty kill percentage-wise in the entire National Hockey League, that is fantastic. And so I'm going to give them marks for that. I would hope to believe.
If you're not scoring power play goals, you better not be allowing
Exactly.
power play goals.
And that's what I love to see. Now, I do hope that they can have a powwow and do whatever they have to do to try and fix this power play, because it is clearly not working. It needs to start to work again in order for them to kind of, instead of having the tight defensive games, you convert a power play goal once or twice in a game. All of a sudden, you've got a shot to win the game comfortably, as opposed to always going into overtime, that kind of a deal. So, I mean, granted, we're getting points because we're playing great defense, but we need to capitalize on our power play opportunities when they are there.
Yeah.
So 4 for me on the concern. 4.
Okay.
And then,
but you rounded me to a 5.
Right, exactly. Finally, the second period. When we were looking at this in pre-production, we found that the second period was not very kind to the Flyers, giving up a ton of shots.
And that's as I expected.
Yeah. Giving up a ton of shots and a ton of goals. Steve, yes. Concern level for the second period right now for the Flyers?
There's only 3 periods. One of them has to be your worst.
Might as well be the second.
Might as well be the second. Their second periods have been particularly bad. And the St. Louis one didn't burn them.
Yeah.
Even though, as I said before, they were really loosey-goosey in that period. So they got lucky in that regard. But the Rangers scored their lone goal in the second period. Vegas started their comeback in the second period.
Yeah.
Colorado was all over them in the second period. They need to get the second period figured out. Because I think they were actually, in the first and third periods, their goal differential is a plus.
Yeah, plus on both.
For both.
Yeah.
So their second period goal differential is horrific.
Yeah.
Since they're -10 overall.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to get that figured out. I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
I'm not going to go higher than that, because one period is going to be a bad period for you regardless.
Yeah, I think for that reason I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's a level of concern that I want to see vapid improvement, like, immediately. I think if they play, that would require them to play a full 60 minutes. To me, for whatever reason, they feel good coming out of the first period. Oh, it's going to be just like it is, whatever, or they're maybe behind 1-0, or they're up 1-0. Things are going to be okay. They kind of get soft. They play like about 8 to 10 minutes soft in the second, and that's where a ton of goals is. I don't know what that is. I darn know it's not the coach. I think it is a reflection on the players more than anything else, that you have to be ready to go, especially in the second period.
Yep.
Coming off of, like, if you're playing the first period, great. If you're up 1-0, build on that lead. Build on it. So I'm going to give it a 7.
Did you say vapid improvement?
Vapid. Did I say that right?
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Rapid.
I had to look it up.
Rapid improvement. Maybe that.
Rapid.
Yes.
Rapid improvement, yes. Vapid means offering nothing that is stimulating or challenging, according to dictionary.com. So poor usage of grammar there, sir.
Well,
but I will forgive you.
Thank you.
To start the third period, I would like to lead everyone in a sane Flyer fan breathing exercise. You breathe in through your diaphragm, so you fill your belly up till you're full, and then you just blow it out, like, count 5, 4, 3. That's how you do it.
It's wonderful. It's great to relax and not have to worry. That's why we're here. If anything, that's what we're supposed to learn. It's just to be able to breathe and understand what's going on. Good rebuild
But
process.
every once in a while, you got to throw something at a television. That's just how it is.
Well, yeah. I, as long as it doesn't hit the television, as long as you throw it down, that's probably the best part.
Mm,
You don't want to throw
good
it
tip. Let me
at
write that
something.
down.
Yeah, good. Throw
Yeah,
it
I should
down.
take
The
that note.
ground should
Okay.
be on the receiving end. Anyway, third period. Steve, looking ahead. Of course,
What?
when we get back, when this episode drops, we're going to begin with the Florida Panthers.
Oh, goody.
Oy vey. They have really shown themselves to be the class of the National Hockey League continually. I don't know how or why. They are just unbelievable. They destroyed Carolina twice. One of them was, I mean, it wasn't even close. What was it, like
6
6
nothing.
nothing?
6 nothing. And the one before that was 6-3.
I mean, the class of the NHL for a reason. And of course, I mean, they crushed the Maple Leafs, which I mean, come on. If you can't crush the Maple Leafs, something's wrong with you. I mean, that kind of a deal.
Yeah.
But they are just phenomenal. Sam Reinhart, of course, having a great year. That whole team is just, that whole organization's just been really amazing. And a little bit of a dip, but then they, like in the last three, they just absolutely shown to be the top class of the NHL.
That will be another challenge along the lines of Vegas or Colorado. Sam Reinhart, you mentioned he leads the league with 18 goals,
Wow.
which is not a surprise since he scored 57 last year.
Jeez.
But he also, this is interesting, he leads the league in shorthanded goals with 4
Wow.
in 25 games played.
Jeez.
So
You have to wonder.
Thursday would be a good time not to
Yeah.
wait. No.
Yeah, Thursday.
That's scoring when we're on the power play. Let's not get a power play.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right?
Stinks anyway, so just forego the power play.
Yeah, exactly. Just forgo it. Just forget about it. You know, that kind of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there, I mean, that's gonna be a tough challenge, no question, coming off that break. Luckily that we're not playing anybody prior, but it's gonna be a tall task. Tall task at home.
When you think about what Carolina did, and we already played Florida once and we hung tough with them,
Yeah.
losing in a shootout.
Yep.
But they are on a whole nother level, as
Mhm.
you said, right now,
Yeah.
just with the way they've stepped up their game.
Yeah. One team that is not on a whole other level, though, is the Boston Bruins. Now we go there. Since they fired their head coach, which is a great bonehead move, by the way, you don't get rid of a coach 2.5 years in because he's yelling at his players that, do their jobs. They're 3-2 under Joe Sacco. So not exactly
Former Flyer Joe
Yeah,
Sacco.
not exactly setting the world on fire over here. They've only scored 58 goals this year. Very un-Boston Bruin-like. 29th in the league, Steve. And then you got David Pastrnak. He's a piece of you-know-what. Seems to kill us all the time. But, yeah, I mean, thoughts
he
here.
does. He's got only 8 goals so far this year. But he leads the league with 100 shots on goal.
So, I mean,
you have to think at some point
the dam's going to break.
The shooting percentage is going to go up.
Yeah, hopefully not against us, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably will.
Remember, the last time we played in Boston, we shut them out.
We did.
So, I mean,
that was impressive.
It was very impressive. So, now they're without.
Although the last time we played Boston, they shut us out.
So that we go back up there and fix, what was wrong. What was wrong against us?
Fix the problem.
Yeah, fix the problem there.
Yeah.
You then have the Utah Hockey Club, the UHC. Kind of interesting here. The former Arizona Coyotes, probably soon to be Utah Yeti, which is not going to work. We'll see if that actually transpires. But
I thought there was a better name that they had for an option.
I hope so.
That I would have liked to see.
They better not be like a drinkware, that kind of a deal. I mean, it's just not going to work.
The Utah Big Dumb Cup.
They're hockey 500. Of course, they beat Vegas 6-0. Yeah. So that means like Vegas must have taken a night off, I guess. I mean, I don't know how that's possible, but a game you should win, I would think.
Look, Arizona was coming on last year.
They were.
I thought they had a decent season. They've got a really good, talented young group of players.
Can't oversleep them. Yeah, you can't look past them.
Can't look past them at all. They've got some elite forward talent.
Yeah.
And I put McBain in the outline just because I like to say McBain.
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 Simpsons reference for those who don't know.
Simpsons reference. Yeah. Yeah.
But it'll be interesting there. That's coming off a back-to-back, coming from back home from Boston. You're doing that. Then you're at Columbus. First time you're facing the Blue Jackets. They've been kind of hovering around 500, but they have won 4 of the last 5. They did beat Carolina in a shootout. They have a top 10 offense right now. They've scored 78 goals on the season. They're not, and we've traditionally have struggled in Columbus for whatever reason.
That's true.
Very strange that we struggled in Columbus. Thoughts there, Steve, of the Blue Jackets on the Tuesday night?
Well, we wondered if the Goudreau tragedy would help them to play kind of above their level, because they were dreadful last year.
Yeah.
Although I think injuries played a large part in that. They are above hockey 500, hanging tough. So, maybe that's carrying them a lot longer than we thought it might. Maybe they're just finding their game. And if you look at their roster, Adam Fantilli, he's a high draft pick from a couple years ago, but there's not a bunch of names on that team where you're like, oh, wow. Zach Werenski, a defenseman, is their leading scorer with 24 points.
That's amazing. Wow.
And 8 goals. So
is Provorov still there?
Provorov is indeed still there.
Okay. Yeah.
But Werenski leads the team. So I'm not really sure what to make of him. It's another one you can't sleep on.
No.
So you better take him seriously.
Better take him seriously, and they're at at their place is what he tried to say.
You need to, if you want to make the playoffs, you got to beat teams below you, and you got to get 2 points while giving them 0.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the big. So you got to beat them in regulation.
That's huge.
I mean, it's all well and good to go to overtimes and shootouts with Colorados and Vegases and Nashvilles. Who cares, because they're in the West. But in the East, you got to beat teams in regulation.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of a team you should beat in regulation, the Detroit Red Wings. This is not your 90s Red Wings by far. They're really struggling right now. Even though they're kind of hovering around hockey 500, they are at 59 goals for. So they're right where Boston is in terms of the offense. They're 28th. And they are filled with minuses all over the place, much like, well, we are. But
no, I mean, this is like when I was looking at their stat sheet, we had a lot of minuses. That's sort of corrected itself. Other than like Lawton and Zamula, who are so far gone. But they've got minuses all over the place. And you got guys who are 40 goal scorers from the past, like Alex DeBrincat, Patrick Kane, and they're just not Vladimir Tarasenko. They're not putting the puck in the net.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It's astounding to me. And that was a team last year, they just missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you figured with the talent they have on the team that they might be looking to take the next step.
Yeah.
And I was looking at their goaltending. Their goaltending, even though it's former Flyers, in Cam Talbot and Alex Lyon, their goaltending is actually not bad. The save percentage, 911, 916, goals against, 267, 274. The problem is their offense. They just don't have it.
Yeah. I mean, that's stunning. But, again, you got to think, like, Patrick Kane is way up there. I don't know how old he is, but, I mean, he's not the Patrick Kane of 2010, 2011, 2012 Patrick Kane.
No, but last year he was serviceable.
Absolutely, yeah. And the fact that he's not scoring, and then you have Tarasenko also not scoring, former Blue, having a difficult time of it. And I think, didn't he play for the Panthers? Or what am I?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He won the cup with the Panthers. Yep. So you're thinking, like, okay, you got a couple of veteran guys. You also have a rebuild with that going on right now in Detroit. It ain't happening. So that'd be interesting. And they have also struggled winning games here in Philadelphia for years. It's their house of horrors, like it is with us in Columbus. So that we'll have to see what the pot is in regards to that. And then, in what's going to be another repeat of 7-5, you got the Minnesota Wild. What a wild game that was. I had to throw that in there.
Dick of bastard.
58 goals against. Yes, that is first. That is very impressive. But 7 of those 58
7 of them
goals
belong to us.
belong to us. So we're going there, and we are duplicating that effort right then and there. We're scoring 7, Steve. I'm calling it right now. Who knows? But, I mean,
I would love it.
yeah, I mean, it's the second game, obviously, playing them. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Coming off that October game where it was 7-5, just such a wild, crazy game. Crazy game. I mean, what do you think? I mean, you know, your typical Kaprizov, Gustafsson are all there, and
Kaprizov leads all scorers with 38 points.
Yeah.
Gustafsson leads goalies in save percentage at 929 and goals against at 2.05.
Yeah.
As well as a bunch of other advanced statistics that I don't care about. Braden Coburn.
Yeah.
I am not expecting a repeat of what happened here last month.
Yeah.
That was insane.
That was crazy.
And I believe both we and the Wild have tightened up defensively.
I would agree.
Since then.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I would expect a 1-0 or 2-1 effect.
Yeah, that's going to be a rock'em sock'em game. I think that's going to be completely the opposite of what it was in October, where both teams were just flying up and down the ice and scoring goals at will, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean, they're 16-4-4.
I mean, they're no joke.
If not for
Winnipeg, yeah.
If not for Winnipeg, they would be leading their division.
Yeah, and Winnipeg's had an amazing year. And that one, I mean, well, actually, as of the time of this recording, the Wild are now tied with the Jets in terms of overall points in the Central. So,
although Winnipeg has more wins.
Yeah, Winnipeg has more wins, but yeah, it's really, I mean, Winnipeg is actually, as of the time of this recording, they've lost 3 in a row. Minnesota has won 3 in a row. So, I mean, there you go. It just goes to show you just how crazy it can get in the National Hockey League. And this team's no joke. I think they're going to be right there. You know, in the playoffs, you know, that kind of a deal. We'll have to see. But
so between now and your next episode, we bookend with 2 major challenges.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the 1, 2, 3, 4 games in between,
got a shot.
You got to get like at least 6 points out.
Yeah, and I think they're doable. I think it's doable.
Oh, I totally think they could get 8.
Oh yeah, the way Boston's playing right now, the way you know Utah, you just don't know. Detroit, you know, same deal. If you go in there with Columbus with a good mindset, road hockey, get a couple of early goals, play good defense, you got a shot. You got a shot, but bookended by Florida and Minnesota. Yeah. But it is starting to lighten up a little bit. You know, we're getting more off days now. We're not playing as much. Once the calendar, though, turns to January, which will be in a couple of episodes that we'll talk about, oh, my gosh, it's going to be crazy the amount of games. They're going to be playing almost every other night in January. It's going to be nuts. But for now, that ends episode 5 of the Men in Orange and Black.
There's one more thing. We were remiss. We were remiss probably last episode, maybe 2 episodes ago, to congratulate Jeremy Roenick on his induction to the National Hockey League Hall of Fame.
Hell yeah.
Well deserved. And good on you, JR. I saw his speech. He gave a great speech. Some information I didn't need to know, but as typical JR.
Yeah.
But congratulations to him.
I love the fact that he
finally achieving that dream.
Love the fact that he gave so much credit to Doug Wilson for saving in his life, for playing out there, getting his 500 goal at San Jose. That was awesome.
And mentioning the 04 Flyers team was the best team he played on.
Oh, that was such a great run. Not to mention 2010, but yeah, we'll go into that a little bit, we'll say. But for Steve, I am Matt. Let's go Flyers.